Have you ever wondered how the code inside your cells actually becomes, well, you? Today, we're diving into that exact story. It's an incredible journey from a silent blueprint to the living, breathing machinery that makes everything happen. So let's get into it.
All right, let's start with a puzzle. Imagine you've got the master blueprints for some world-changing invention, but they're locked away in a super secure vault. The problem? The factory, with all the workers and tools, is outside that vault. So how does anything get built? This is the exact dilemma our cells solve, literally trillions of times a day.
So to really get the solution, we've got to understand the problem first, right? We need to take a look inside the cell and see the challenge it's up against, a challenge created by its own incredible security system.
First up, let's meet the stars of the show, proteins. And no, we're not just talking about building muscle here. Proteins are the microscopic workhorses that do pretty much everything. They're the enzymes digesting your food, the antibodies fighting off germs. They even determine the color of your hair. They are absolutely crucial.
And this really lays out the logistical nightmare perfectly. On one side, you have the cell's vault, the nucleus. That's where the master blueprint, our DNA, is kept under lock and key. On the other side, out on the factory floor, the cytoplasm, you have the builders, these things called ribosomes. And here's the kicker. The DNA can't get out, and the ribosomes can't get in. It's a total standoff. So how does the information get from A to B?
Well, the cell's solution is just beautiful. It's so elegant and efficient. And it all comes down to another amazing molecule. It's time to meet the hero of our story, RNA. See, instead of ever risking the priceless, original DNA blueprint, the cell just makes a cheap, temporary copy, a photocopy, basically. This copy is designed to be mobile. Its whole job is to get the instructions, leave the vault, take them to the factory, and then get this, it just gets recycled. It's a brilliant, low-risk information delivery system.
And that photocopy, that's RNA, or ribonucleic acid. You can think of it as the ultimate cellular courier. It's a really close cousin to DNA, but it has a few key differences that make it absolutely perfect for this hit-and-run mission.
Now, what's so cool here is how these tiny little differences change everything. First, RNA uses a slightly different sugar. Second, you know how DNA has that base, thymine or T? Well, RNA swaps that out for a very similar base called uracil, or U. But maybe the biggest deal is the third one. RNA is a single strand, not that famous double helix. That single strand structure makes it way more flexible and, frankly, easier to read for a quick job.
But here's where it gets even cooler. RNA isn't just one thing. It's a whole team of specialists, like a cellular A-team, and each one has a very specific, very important job to do. Let's meet the big three.
First up, you've got messenger RNA, or mRNA. The name says it all, right? This is our dedicated courier. Its one and only job is to make that temporary copy of a single gene from the DNA and carry that precious message out of the nucleus and onto the factory floor.
Next, say hello to transfer RNA or tRNA. Now, if the mRNA is the instruction manual, tRNA is the delivery truck. Its job is to bring the raw materials. It zips around the cell, grabs the exact building blocks needed, these are called amino acids, and hauls them over to the factory right when they're called for. And finally, we have ribosomal RNA, or rRNA. And this one is a mind blower. It's not a message, it's not a delivery truck. Incredibly, rRNA is the factory. It actually forms the core structure of the ribosome, the machine itself that's going to build the protein.
Yeah, let's just hang on that for a second. The message is RNA, the delivery truck is RNA, and the factory is also made of RNA. I mean, come on. This just goes to show you how unbelievably versatile this molecule is. It's not just a passive piece of paper with instructions. It is an active, essential part of the construction crew.
Okay, so we've met all the players, we've got the DNA blueprint locked away, and we've got our RNA A-team ready to go. Now, let's see how it all comes together. It's time to watch this thing in action, from start to finish.
The whole show can be broken down into two main acts. First, you have transcription, which is just a fancy science word for making the copy. And second, you have translation, which is where that copy is used to actually build the thing. Simple as that.
So, Act 1. We're inside the nucleus. An enzyme comes along, it unzips a tiny section of that big DNA double helix, one specific gene, and it just traces it, building a mirror image copy using RNA blocks. And that new copy? That's our mRNA.
Okay, once that mRNA copy is made and, tidied up a little bit, it does the one thing DNA could never do. It leaves the nucleus. It slips out into that busy city of the cytoplasm, on a mission to find a ribosome.
But hold on, before that ribosome can build anything, it has to be able to read the instructions. And the mRNA code isn't read one letter at a time. No, it's read in three-letter words. We call these words codons, and each three-letter codon is the code for one specific amino acid, one specific building block for our protein.
And that brings us to Act 2, Translation. Our little mRNA messenger has found a ribosome, that factory made of our RNA. The ribosome literally clamps down onto the mRNA strip and starts feeding it through, reading the message 3 letters at a time, codon by codon.
So check out how this amazing little machine works. The ribosome reads a codon, let's say it's GCU. Instantly, the right tRNA delivery truck, the one carrying the amino acid for GCU, shows up and plugs in. The ribosome grabs its amino acid and attaches it to the chain it's building. Then, clunk, the ribosome slides down to the next codon on the list, and the whole thing happens again. It's an assembly line of incredible precision, building a protein one piece at a time.
This whole intricate dance of molecules, it's not just some clever cellular trick. It turns out this is the fundamental operating system for pretty much every living thing on the planet. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture.
And this is it. This is the heart of it all, what scientists call the central dogma of biology. DNA is the master blueprint, the long-term storage. RNA is the short-term memo, the information transfer. And protein is the final product, the machine that goes out and does the work. DNA to RNA to protein. That's the flow.
It's such a powerful idea. They call it a dogma, not because you have to believe it without question, but because it's a fundamental rule we see playing out over and over again in nature. This is the system that life landed on, and honestly, its elegance and efficiency are just breathtaking.
So there you have it, from a lockdown blueprint to a finished working machine. That is the story of how you are being built right this second. It's a system of almost unbelievable precision, which, of course, leads to one last huge question. What happens when there's a mistake? What happens when there's a tiny typo in that original DNA blueprint? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Thanks for watching.